Somebody accused us of being Jovinianists.
Jovinianism is an anti-ascetic movement. He criticized the monastic movement and argued for the equality of marriage and celibacy.
So it says, marriage, marriage, marriage. Where is the call to perpetual virginity, to celibacy? The traditional teaching of the church is not merely that celibacy is better than consummated marriage. The traditional teaching is that even in marriage, sex will always be tainted due to the always present concupiscence in the act.
I always want to start with whatever element of truth I can find. The gravitational pull of lust here is real. He is waving a flag and saying, hey, this is dangerous territory, the realm of sexuality. Yeah, it is. If all we have is the lustful fallen reality, well, pardon the pun, we're screwed. If there's another way to see, there's another way to think. He is coming from a point of view that normalizes the interpretation of suspicion. The interpretation of suspicion is that is tainted. There's no possibility of real inner transformation here.
Ever read Ambrose, Augustine, Jerome, Gregory the Great? Back then, it was very popular for married couples to be completely abstinent.
I'm just thinking about Augustine's own journey of sliding into Manichaean, dualistic, Gnostic cults.
Just because a saint said it does not mean
They have their own path of
they have their own
purification.
path. The gift of the church's reflection over 2,000 years, which at this season of theological reflection, if I could sum it up, it is this. If you have been blessed by this podcast and you would like it to bless others, here's a few things you can do that would really help. Of course, subscribe, leave a review, rate the podcast, or if you're listening on YouTube, please leave a comment.
Diddy? Is that what he means by P. Diddy?
Yes.
What about John Cougar Mellencamp? Little Diddy.
About
Jack and Diane.
Two American kids
growing
done.
up in the heartland.
My kids think that song's creepy,
Well, there's a couple.
There is a creepy line. When I
but they
sing
picked
it,
up on it. They're like, "What's they doing with the shady
Bobby Brooks with
trees?"
the shady trees. When I sing that song, this is how I do it. Because I do it as part of my, it's a fan favorite when you're playing
Sure
out at
is.
You're a musician and you play shows,
right.
and this is one of the songs you play.
This is one of the songs I play. Correct.
Nice way to put it, Mike.
Yes, thank you.
I swim in that world.
So I instead of saying
The line
the
from
line,
John Cougar's
which
song.
I don't even remember, how's the original line go? There's something about
dribble off.
those Bobby Brooks
Slacks and
let me do what I please.
God
Yeah, God have mercy. So I just say, who the hell is Bobby Brooks anyway? Would you tell me, please?
Do you say sucking on a chili dog? Though?
I do say sucking on the chili
outside
dog.
it tastes
Because I like that line.
One of my favorite images that circulated the internet it was a wanted poster. No, it was a poster of John Cougar from the 80s where he has that nice flow.
You know how much he hated that name.
Yeah, I know. Johnny Cougar.
Yeah.
And he's just looking at the camera and this says, "Do not serve this man a chili dog." Tasty free staff.
That's great.
That was great.
You know what I do for Cecilia?
Oh, yeah.
There's
Paula
the
Simon and
terrible,
Garfunkel.
terrible line in Cecilia.
Yeah, there's some bad.
Cici
songs.
breaking my heart. Making love in the afternoon with Cecilia.
Mm-hmm.
I change it to up in our bedroom just to give a little marital flavor.
Okay.
Instead of saying up in my bedroom.
Yeah, yeah.
I never even.
And then making love in the afternoon with Cecilia up in our bedroom. I get up to wash my face. You know the next line?
No?
When I come back to bed, someone's
Oh,
taking
yeah, in my place. Yeah, that's right. By the way,
So I change it to I get up to wash my face. Now I'm changing the words because they're such a disgrace.
oh, that's good.
Has to rhyme.
Just real quick disclaimer for our viewers at home. We should have put this in the beginning, but this is maybe not for all audiences. The first 5 minutes of our conversation.
Well, we're
Is anything for all
It
audiences?
just jumped into like really.
I don't think our show's for 12-year-olds
No,
anyway.
that's true.
Which, speaking of that, if anyone, I want to start off with again, if anyone has any comments or questions or artwork they want to share with us,
Yes.
questions for us, or they can certainly comment on all the episodes. But any topics you want us to cover or artwork you want to share, feel free to do so. You can leave questions in the comment section of these episodes. Or if you want to be more discreet and send something to us, feel free as well as sending artwork to us, you can do so with email that we have, which is WMF at tobinstitute.org.
.org.
And we, on our last episode, I'm just recalling how much fun we had. We launched in this whole direction because somebody sent us a work of art.
A beautiful work of art.
Which is
today.
good because we don't have a script ever. So
This may be apparent.
Please send us some art. Please send us something to talk about. Okay.
All right, I got something for you to talk about.
Okay, Juan.
Juan.
Give us something to talk about, Juan.
So, a few months ago, somebody accused us of being Jovinianists. Jovinianists. Now, I don't know what a Jovinianist
That means
was.
jovial?
No, that would be jovialists.
Okay.
Joviniist, yeah, heretic from the
I can't read anything on that screen, Juan.
4th century?
You're expecting a 56-year-old man to read that size font?
We'll make it
Okay.
bigger. We'll make-
he was a-
Jovinian was an opponent of Christian asceticism in the 4th century and was condemned as a heretic at synods convened in Rome. His modern counterparts are Bill Donaghy, Mike Mangione.
What? It's in there?
Yeah, there it is.
Where
right?
does it say that?
Stop being jovial.
Okay, our information about him is derived principally from the work of Jerome in 2 books, He was native, present in Turkey. Get me to the beef here,
that's
Juan.
fine. So we're gonna get to what the heresy.
Oh, here,
actually
go
is.
ahead, Mike. No, Bill, give us a read there.
Thanks, Chris.
Mike's the youngest.
I'm
he should read it.
dyslexic.
Okay. It's hard to read. Jovinianism is an anti-ascetic movement that has its origins in the 4th century. He criticized the monastic movement and argued for the equality of marriage and celibacy. Period. Okay.
Okay, well, that's a loaded statement. What is equality of what?
Well,
Of the vocations. There's no distinction between celibacy of the
But
kingdom
okay,
and marriage.
but just those words. I hate the when words are not defined and they're just plopped out there. Like,
It's Wikipedia.
yeah, okay,
yeah,
could be
let
inside.
me read to you the comment.
Yeah, read the comment.
that
Thanks,
he
Juan.
posted. I kept him anonymous.
Good.
So can you see that? Or
Nope.
would you
I
like me to
can't read
for
it for the life of me, but I see it.
All right.
You read it, Juan, please.
So it says marriage, 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 dating, dating, dating. Where is the call to perpetual virginity, to celibacy? The traditional teaching of the church is not merely that celibacy is better than consummated marriage. The traditional teaching is that even in marriage, sex will always be tainted due to the always present concupiscence in the act. Ever read Ambrose, Augustine, Jerome, Gregory the Great? Back then, it was very popular for married couples to be completely abstinent.
Oh God, have mercy.
Now it's all about how holy sex and bonding. Can this Jovinianism stop? That's what this is.
Can the
Unspoken
fear of the
Jovinianism.
body and sexuality stop?
Yes.
How about that?
Yeah.
That was what our last episode was
It
about.
actually was, yeah.
I always want to start with whatever element of truth I can find in what somebody is saying. So let's look for that first. And I just want to lift up this person, whoever wrote this. He's a brother or a sister, and he's going through his own wrestling match with being human and with fallen humanity and what the call to virtue is, what Christianity is. And everybody's on his own.
Which is noble and beautiful and awesome.
Everybody's
So
on his
we
own
are too.
journey. And
We're all on that
we got to
journey.
wrestle with our stuff. So he's wrestling with his stuff, and I bless him. But I also want to invite him. There's more to see, brother. There's beauty to discover. The scripture that's coming to my mind as the
Right before you do that, can we establish exactly what is he saying though?
What he's saying is we are spending too much time praising marriage, praising sexual love in marriage, and he's drawing currents from what others have said in Christianity that I would put it this way. He didn't put it this way. Are lean in a direction that John Paul II described as the interpretation of suspicion.
Mm-hmm.
He seems to me, coming from a point of view that sanctifies and normalizes what John Paul II calls the interpretation of suspicion. And the interpretation of suspicion is that is tainted. It will always be tainted. That's the way it is. There's no possibility of real inner transformation here. It's tainted by sin. It will always be tainted by sin. And the it is
Marriage and sexuality.
marriage and sexuality. So we must flee from that because it's tainted. And if you really want to be holy, be a virgin, be celibate. And even if you're married, you know, okay, you'll have a few kids, maybe more than a few kids, but then you give up sex because it's tainted and it's of this world, and the redemption really doesn't get in there to rearrange that or set that aright. So we just eschew that and we run over here and live our spiritual life divorced from all that tainted sexual stuff. That's am I?
Yeah, I
you
would
think
agree.
I'm
No, I would agree. That
accurately
seems, you put your
reflecting
finger
his
right
thought on it?
Mm-hmm. And so he is accusing us. So that view would be heretical. That would be a heresy of Manichaeism, a dualism, the things we've talked about before, a kind of Gnosticism, special knowledge.
But for our viewers who didn't hear our previous episodes, maybe unpack.
Yeah. So this idea that always the flesh is identified as fallen and is always suspicious, and so, but JP2 says this is a loophole to avoid the call of the gospel, which is to live an incarnate spirituality and see the inherent goodness of the body and sexuality. So we're being accused of a kind of heresy that overly glorifies the body and just wants marriage, which I don't think we've ever said. I think, and when we teach here at the Institute, we're constantly talking about the objective superiority of celibacy for the kingdom, as it's one foot in heaven with the heavenly marriage. But as JP2 articulates, there's also the subjective dimension of the sacrament of marriage, and some are called to marriage and some are called to celibacy for the kingdom.
Well, we also talked about celibacy and marriage. I mean, we have talked about
chastity.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Chastity, yes.
Chastity and marriage. So that we've never said that. Sex is the.
I'll just be quiet for a little bit.
We've never taught that sex is the goal and all should be married to experience
of course not.
that. So we are faithful to the magisterial teaching. We're faithful to the anthropology of John Paul II. It's a proper ordering of things.
The scripture that comes to my mind that we need to spend some time on here, and I said a few moments ago, I want to affirm whatever I can in what he's saying, and I'll get there. But the scripture that I think should frame the whole conversation is Ephesians 5, verses 31 to 32.
Mm-hmm.
For this reason, a man will leave his father and mother, be joined to his wife. The two will become one flesh. This is a great mystery. Let's pause right there. The union of husband and wife in one flesh, I'll use the Greek here, is a mega mysterion.
Mm-hmm.
Mega. And I want to say to I'm assuming it's a guy. Do you know, Juan, if it's a guy? Okay, I'm assuming it's a guy. I would be quite surprised if it's a woman, because what I hear in his question or challenge is the male struggle with lust.
Yeah,
that's what I hear.
I do too.
And I want to invite you, brother, into this mega mysterion. And I'll invite you to this. John Paul II says that this passage, I'm quoting in Ephesians 5, is just as important in understanding celibacy properly as it is in understanding marriage properly. Because what is the next line? This is a mega mysterion. This is a great mystery. What is? The union of man and woman in one flesh. I don't hear in his challenge, I don't hear in his heart an appreciation of the mega mystery of human sexuality. I hear fear, suspicion. It only causes me to sin, and that scares me. And so I need to take shelter and refuge in this purely spiritual, virginal realm over here.
Yes. Yeah.
That's what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
And so I'm inviting him and all our listeners, if we have that, and I know that territory, I know it well. It is scary. We are broken. We are fallen. The gravitational pull of lust here is real. And if we just go with that, it will lead to our and others in our lives utter destruction. Yes, yes, yes. And that's what I want to affirm, right? In what he's saying. He is waving a flag and saying, hey, this is dangerous territory, the realm of sexuality. Yeah, it is. If all we have is the lustful fallen reality, well, pardon the pun, we're screwed. But there's another way to see. There's another way to think. There's another way to experience this. This is a great mystery, and it refers to Christ and the church. Christ and the church are married, but they're married in a virginal, mystical union that does not involve genital union. Here we have genital union. The two become one flesh. Here we have this virginal, mystical union. They do become one body, Christ and the church, but the manner in which we become one body is through the sacraments, baptism, Eucharist. But let's also recall marriage is one of those sacraments that proclaims and really efficaciously communicates this mystery of the marriage of Christ and the church is communicated sacramentally by this mystery, the two become one flesh. So it's not that the genital sexual reality is over here and the Christ church mystical virginal reality is way over there and ne'er the twain shall meet. Sacramentality, Ephesians 5, John Paul II says, it is of particular merit that St. Paul brings these two mysteries, the virginal mystery of union, the genital mystery of union, the marital reality. He brings these two communions together and makes of them one great mystery of communion. Okay, I don't hear any appreciation for that in this guy's challenge. Go ahead.
This is the word becoming flesh.
Yes.
This is the word becoming fresh as we return to it and keep talking about it. It's so important to keep talking about this. And I've sensed too, there's this fear of that sign. And because it's so supercharged and such a mega mystery, to understand the great mystery, I have to press into this, to marriage. I understand that there's fear there, but you cannot depart from the sign, right? How do we know the Antichrist? He who denies Christ come in the flesh into this very sign. So what's the first line of this comment again, Juan? Marriage, 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 and then?
Dating.
Dating.
Do we even talk about dating? I mean, maybe he's talking about our channel at large.
I'm just struck by the triune marriage. Like we're holy, sanctus.
Oh, wow.
Please, God, I'm glad you're picking up the vibe because I hope we keep saying that.
Yeah.
Because it is all marriage. We cannot depart from this sign.
And let me quote
But
JP2
it's
here to
tethered.
back you up.
They're connected. Yeah.
And then keep going. I wanted to back this up with our Holy Father.
Yeah.
The saint, John Paul II, says, we cannot understand what the church is as the sacrament of Christ's body in this world.
Yes.
Unless we keep in mind the great mystery of the two becoming one flesh, of the two being called to fatherhood and motherhood. The great mystery of Christ and the church does not exist apart from, he says, the one flesh mystery of marriage.
Yeah.
So you'll find writings of certain saints in the tradition who demonstrate a certain suspicion towards the body and sexuality. That's part of our fallen humanity. We mustn't sanctify that suspicion. John Paul II says the interpretation of suspicion, and by this he means it's always tainted, it's always going to be tainted, you can't find the holy there. We just have to kind of accept it because it leads to babies and we got to keep the human race going. That's what he means by the interpretation of suspicion. He says the interpretation of suspicion is the antithesis of the meaning of life.
Oof.
Do you want to unpack that, Bill?
Uh.
Why is it the antithesis of the meaning of life?
Say it again, because I'm looking up St. Augustine.
Yeah. So he says the interpretation of suspicion, this idea that I can't find the holy in sexuality, it's just tainted and will always be. He says that is the antithesis of the meaning of life.
Because the meaning of life is marriage.
Is love. Is to
It
love.
is. And love must become flesh. Love is union, yes.
And it's self-sacrificial.
Yes, and this is death. Like the only way to communion of persons is a death to self, entering into the great mystery, which is a theme that we've talked about quite a bit.
We spent a lot of time talking about
Yeah.
the relationship and the necessity for the partners to die to the self.
I'm thinking of your line, love becomes itself only sacrificially.
Yeah.
Unpack that lyric for us.
Well, yeah, it's just that we I don't know when, but we've talked about this tendency for us. She doesn't do it for me.
yeah.
There's this desire that I have, and she's not fulfilling it. Well, that's just a me monster speaking. In order to fully get what we truly desire, we need to learn to die to the self, to sacrifice ourself for the other, and it's only in that action that we fully are given what we desire, which is to be raised up to divine love, to experience a foreshadowing of what heaven is.
What is your song? I'm peeling
The
that lyric.
turnabout.
The turnabout. Enter us, help us. Well, that's what the whole song is about. Learning to turn.
Yeah,
Bring us into that song.
the turnabout is the turnout being just like the changing of the metanoia, like the changing of your disposition
In your direction.
and your direction. And one could be, you can look at it as like a direction, or you can look at it from an internal gaze, a navel gazing disposition, to a heavenly gazing disposition. And so the line is, I'm not good with on the spot, but I say only love becomes its, what's the line?
Yeah,
before?
only love becomes itself sacrificially.
So I'll bleed it out.
Bleed it out.
You hold
suspicion, you hold doubt.
So I will sing this song until these words can thaw the turnabout.
You got to put this in the show notes,
Yeah, this
Juan.
is a turnabout.
Find Mike's song and put it in the show
thanks.
notes.
What's the line leading up to this part? So it's
you got it.
towards the end. I wanted to love you, but I couldn't see. Only love becomes itself sacrificially.
So I will bleed it out.
So I will bleed it out. You hold suspicion, you hold doubt. So I will sing the song until these words can thaw the turnabout, which is also
That's my prayer for this man.
what I
That's
mean.
my prayer for him.
What I mean by that is to reveal to the partner that I am really, in a holy way, giving myself to them. But it's also, I am singing this song until the words can thaw the turnabout within myself. It's a continuous journey of not, well, I've figured it out, therefore I'm good. It's every day I need to sing this song, not for you to see it in me, and for me to see it in myself and live it out. It's a prayer.
Yeah.
It's
It's
a
one of your
constant
best
prayer.
works of art, Mike.
That's awesome.
Because I don't have a home without
Yeah.
you. Yeah, it's going back to the
Home.
Okay,
Coming
so
home.
this is, I think this guy who's given us this challenge, he's homeless. Like he's looking, he's looking to find a place of rest in his heart with things he's heard us say on this channel, and he's not finding where it rests because he's dealing with a profound internal conflict. And he has settled into this idea that holiness and his experience of sexuality are incompatible. And the truth of the matter is he's probably correct, meaning his experience of sexuality has been one riddled with lust and selfishness.
And that's, sorry, but to go back to the song.
Seeing it in others.
Ron,
Maybe
can you
not
go to the
first.
top of the lyrics? That's why it starts off that I come from the land where rivers freeze, implying that we come from this place of brokenness
Wow, Mike.
where we, whether it's unintentionally or intentionally, the flowing water that could potentially be within us is frozen.
Yeah.
And our hearts become frozen. And that's why it ends with the thawing. It's an acknowledgement of
good.
This is the true way, is to consistently pray into it, to be open to it, to self-sacrifice, to experience authentic love and thaw those rivers within us that really are connected to the living water.
Can you go up, Juan, to the top? There's something in one of the verses that I really like. I come from the ranch, where the frozen bone holds pure every tempo, every tone. So every bleeding heart, cracked seed can cry where it is sown. There's an invitation to recognize the Passover that is required from the freeze to the thaw, so that the rivers of life-giving water can flow in and through our bodies. Yes, in and through our sexuality. You speak of a bleeding heart, a cracked seed, and this cry. It's going to involve real suffering. And this is what I want to affirm what this guy is saying, that we can't just have this happy whistling song about sexuality unless or until or in as much as we have gone through this bleeding, cracking, and crying that allows this turnabout, this inner thaw, where we are able to see with different eyes. Another scripture that comes to mind is, they look but they do not see. Right? I think this guy is looking at sexuality but not seeing it. He's not seeing it as this mega mystery. Blessed are the pure of heart, for they shall see God. The interpretation of suspicion is like digging our heels in and saying, I'm never going to see God in that. The only way I can see God is by fleeing all that. And so that creates this ruptured view that Christian virginity is one thing over here and Christian marriage is this totally other thing over here.
Yeah.
Whereas the authentic Christian vision is that these two realities are much more closely intertwined than we realize, because both reveal, each in its own way, but in complementary ways, the same mystery. What is the same mystery? We're destined for this eternal union with God in the flesh. Hey, if you really like Bill Donaghy's genetically amazing hair, follow us, subscribe, and give us a rating on whatever platform you're hearing us on. And if you've already done those things, thank you so much.
Hello, my friends. I just wanted to take a brief moment to share with you that if you enjoy what you're hearing on the podcast, we also do live events all around the world. So if you're interested in joining us, the details are below, and we'll see you on the road soon.
And God's language to describe that ultimate union with him is spousal, is marital.
Yes. Yeah,
Can I
go ahead.
throw in now? I just want to affirm his, it kind of said it in a snarky way, but ever heard of Ambrose, Augustine?
Yeah.
Yes, we have, first off. And I just want to say, like, Augustine, I'm just thinking about Augustine's own journey of sliding into Manichaean, dualistic, Gnostic cults because of his own wrestling with his flesh.
right.
I'm not making no judgment on this guy. We have no idea what his struggles might be. We're all struggling, trying to figure it out. But Augustine went through this whole wrestling match with the flesh and just, and crying out. But his resolution, and he's a father of the church. So 4th century St. Augustine, in his Confessions, comes to grace and peace and reconciliation with this. And listen to this from his Confessions. Late have I loved you, O beauty ever ancient, ever new.
Oh.
Late have I loved you. You were within me, but I was outside. And it was there that I searched for you. In my unloveliness, I plunged into the lovely things which you created. You were with me, but I was not with you. Created things kept me from you. Yet if they had not been in you, they would not have been at all. Now listen to this, so you can see a fear of sexuality,
fear of the physical.
And I've idolatrized it. Now I have to reject it. Listen to how he redeems every one of his senses. You called, you shouted, and you broke through my deafness. You flashed, you shone, and you dispelled my blindness. You breathed your fragrance on me, I drew in breath and now I pant for you. What the heck? I have tasted you. Now I hunger and thirst for more. You touched me and I burned for your peace. I mean, here's a man now reconciled with his sexuality, his body, his senses, in an integrated, chaste, holy, erotic, hear that the right way, like a capital E eros now. Our hearts are restless till they rest in you, right? It's not a tamp it down, shove it down, bury it, point fingers at it, reject it, be suspicious of it, but let me open it up, as we said, right? All my senses to God. Augustine's like he's the ever-present model for us who are wrestling with this stuff. Just to put that out there.
Yeah, listen to this. I'm looking up some of my quotes from Augustine. He does say, I have this in my list of Augustine quotes, and this is where he hasn't yet reached a level of maturity in his thinking. He says the genitals are condemned to serve only but in sin. Right? So there are statements like this that you'll find that saints have made. That does not mean Thomas Aquinas made a statement contrary to the Immaculate Conception of Mary. So I'm just saying that to say, just because a saint said it does not mean it's...
They have their own path of purification.
They have their own path. Yeah. And someone could say, well, just because John Paul II said it doesn't mean that, he's got it. Yeah. Okay. But what is the trajectory of the tradition here? I think we can look at the growth of the church's understanding like the growth of a human life. There is an infancy period in the church. There was a coming to maturity in the church. And maybe if I were to assess where the church is right now in that analogy, I would say in the 20th century and into the 21st, the church is going through puberty.
I was going to say.
The church is going through puberty because if you look at all that has been said on marriage and human sexuality from the magisterium, the official magisterium of the Catholic Church over 2,000 years. I remember this was 30 years ago. I was in my classroom at the John Paul II Institute in Washington, D.C., and my professor, Dr. William May, such a character, comes into class one day holding like 12 volumes of big, thick books, and he walks in and he plops it on the desk, and he says, "This is a collection of magisterial teaching on marriage and human sexuality over 2,000 years." He was a kind of short, old guy. He looked kind of hunched over, and his suspenders, his pants like came up to his nipples, and his suspenders were like this long.
It's a great visual. Thank you.
And then he took 2 volumes off from the bottom. They were chronologically stacked to the top. So the latest volume was on top, the oldest was on the bottom. Wow. He took 2 volumes out from the bottom and said, all of these, the top 10, were from the 20th century.
Whoa.
And then he took another, I think, 2 or 3 volumes off the bottom. And so now we're left with 7 or 8 volumes. And he said, all of these are from John Paul II.
Oh. Holy cow. There it is.
And why? Right? The church is responding to the crisis of its time. Mm-hmm. And the crisis of our age, of our day, is a sexual crisis. Mm-hmm. It's a crisis that is attacking marriage and the family. And I'll quote here from Sister Lucia, one of the visionaries from Fatima, who said, "The final battle between the kingdom of Christ and the kingdom of Satan will be fought over marriage and the family." We're living through that now. And so if we're talking more now about marriage in this age of the church than in previous ages, we are. It's not if, we are.
Yeah.
There's a reason for that. Mm-hmm. And I think part of the reason is the church, to go with this analogy, if it's accurate, I think an argument could be made, the church in her development is going through a kind of puberty, an awakening to this mystery, which has brought a richness in our theological understanding and an organic development of that understanding that was absolutely essential to overcome. Here I'll quote George Weigel from his biography on John Paul II. He says, the theology of the body may be the decisive moment in casting out the Manichaean demon from Catholic moral theology. I would make one adjustment to that statement, and I would say from Catholic moral theologians. Because the official Catholic moral theology on this subject, what the magisterium has accepted, has not been tainted by Manichaeism, but Catholic theologians over the centuries have been tainted by this fearful, suspicious approach to the body and sex. And that's not just a Catholic thing. It's not just Christians who have had this fearful approach. It's a human reality. The ambiguity towards sexuality goes so deep in the human story. We just, without the gift of the redemption, without this thawing of our frozen rivers, without this cracking open and crying out and experiencing a turnabout, as you so beautifully put in your song, Mike, without that, John Paul II says we're just condemned to have a pendulum swing in society from the one extreme of a pessimistic, fearful, suspicious, puritanical approach, and then the pendulum's going to go way over here into a libidinous, indulgent, pornographic approach. And if those are the only two options, it seems to me our challenger here, who's written to us, only sees these as the options. The that's bad, that's wrong, that's dirty, let's be holy about it and run away from it because it's bad, dirty, and holy. We either have that or the pornographic. If those are the only two choices, of course the puritanical, fearful approach is going to seem more holy. The gift of the church's reflection over 2,000 years, which has matured at this season of theological reflection and development, if I could sum it up, it is this. It's time for us to enter the great mystery ever more deeply, ever more deeply. John Paul II said in his letter to families in 1994, the great mystery of Ephesians 5 is threatened in us and all around us. And it's threatened not only by this pornographic, libidinous, indulgent approach. It is equally threatened, although from another angle, by this puritanical, fearful, Manichaean approach. And he invites us, and I invite this guy, bless you, brother, I invite you, as John Paul II invites you, to allow Ephesians 5, the one flesh union of man and woman, is a great mystery, and it refers to Christ and the church. I invite you, along with John Paul II, to allow that to purify you of those deep-seated habits of Manichaeism, of that fearful, suspicious approach to sexuality. He says this approach might and may always be, I think you already referenced this, Bill, might and may always be a loophole to avoid the requirements of the gospel. What are the requirements of the gospel? Blessed are the pure of heart, for they shall see God. Boom. There it is.
Amen.
Well, that's easy.
Yeah. And what I love, though, the three of us having this conversation is two theologians and an artist.
Yeah.
Right? The artist's angle on this, and I really do believe, Mike, your song, The Turnabout,
That was clutch.
is one of your greatest works of art. And may I invite, can we just listen to that, Juan? Can you pull that up?
Oh, that's awkward.
No, well, you just deal with it.
Turn around.
Yeah.
Turnabout.
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 Mike, I want you to receive
Yourself.
yourself, your gift of your own art.
Allow myself to
And
receive
I want
myself.
I want you to realize that in playing this, this is a gift for our listeners. And it's a great way to take us out. On
And
this
as you're loading
episode.
it, Juan, you're already ready. I was going to say,
Don't do the that's the good video. Well, they're all good videos.
if you don't say so yourself.
By the way, all these videos are available on YouTube. Mike Mangione.
I was going to say that this is we just spent 30 minutes unpacking an answer to that criticism, but you can also do it in a 3-minute song.
Yeah.
More potently.
Amen.
And this is an invitation to our interrogator, that maybe the best way is to enter into this thought and receive a truth through beauty.
Yeah. And the
through
rivers,
music.
what I love about your particular gift of songwriting, Mike, is you take a reality from your life. You do come from the land where the rivers freeze.
Yeah,
You come from Wisconsin.
that's right.
But you're just as Jesus did, looking around at his natural surroundings and say, how can I teach the gospel from the stuff of the earth? I come from the land where the rivers freeze becomes the metaphor of I need to let
I love it.
what's in my heart thaw so that rivers, Jesus says, rivers of living water would flow in and through us.
Yeah, and that's what I've loved about this work with theology of the body, and specifically being an artist, is I've always understood things more clear in metaphor and poetry, because there's so many more words in the metaphor, and words are not my gift.
When you say there's so many more words in the metaphor, you mean like the metaphor
image?
contains
Yeah,
in an image.
The image
has more
words.
words.
Are only trying to explain the truth of the creation around us,
right.
but it's always going to fall short. And I feel like art reflects on a reality in a way that the words can only scratch the surface, because it lifts us to this place of reflection and pondering that comes closer to the true meaning of things.
Yeah.
And so when my journey of getting into my faith 20 years ago, what profoundly hit me was one of the first things that I picked up from John Paul II was the echo of the heart. Because as I read his words and read the writings from you and other theologians, it was putting into word the resonance that my heart always had.
Yes.
That I couldn't ever say, and I still can't say. That's why I love sitting in these chairs, because I'm listening to you guys. I'm like, I'm not going to say anything because you guys are nailing it with your words. But I mean this humbly. Well, I mean this in light of the reflection of the echo of the heart. Every one of those words rang true, like it was written in my soul for me to you. That's Bob Dylan. I know what you're saying, not here, but here. And the studying of theology of the body has allowed here and here to come together, and it makes sense. So a song for me, like this song, is my attempt to put my money in on the table of that cosmic conversation of what it means to be human. Because I can't write chapters and chapters and chapters and laying out the church fathers and expounding on their thinking, but I can share, well, this is what it all means to me. And what's beautiful about participating in art as an artist, when you have that pure intention of, I'm really trying to know you, Lord, and you respond by creating something, is oftentimes the Lord affirms and teaches you through the creation that you did. So sometimes you'll write a song like Turnabout, and it's coming from this honest place of conversation where I'm putting out my 2 cents, and all of a sudden something is revealed to me by what has been put out that technically I wrote, but it didn't come from me.
I brother,
That's the heart of the artist.
you do it so well.
I think that's what a lot of artists, when they say
They
like,
discover
I
it.
didn't write this one.
they discover it.
It was given to me. I think what they're saying is I genuinely entered into a conversation with something bigger than myself transcendental. And from that place, something was revealed to me that
Yes.
had profound meaning.
I'm reminded of Pope Benedict's statement that a theologian who does not love music, art, poetry, nature can be dangerous.
Yes.
Because we need to have that place in our heart awakened and aware, because you're exactly right. Poetry, metaphor, art explains or takes us into a taste of the mystery beyond what mere theological discourse can.
And that's why the word became flesh.
Amen.
Yes.
Amen.
Because we needed to see it. Because as we said on this show and other episodes, it's all, you need to read it poetically. You need to comprehend it poetically, because the just saying it alone is one thing, but when you see the cross and the crucifix and the resurrection and the tomb, or the tomb and the resurrection, it's actually getting closer to the greater mystery that we're meant to take away and comprehend.
Amen. So here's the gift.
Right.
Mike's song, The Turnabout.
I hope you like it.
I like it, Mike.
I come from the land where the rivers freeze, where time is a season counted by the leaves. The frozen bone holds pure every tempo, every tone. So every bleeding heart cracks, seek and cry where it is sown. But I don't have a home without you. No, I don't have a home without you. Time is a runner who can change his stride. I hold memory because the feeling has died. And there was once a dream, but it burned off like steam. And every noise made in this empty church echoes places I have been. Because I don't have a home without you. No, I don't have a home without you. Yeah, I get it when they say, boy, you gonna reap what you sow. But I've been hanging on to mercy since the day I bet my soul. And I am punching through the dirt because he keeps filling that same hole too. I wanted to love you, but I couldn't see. Only love becomes itself sacrificially. So I will bleed it out. You hold suspicion, you hold doubt. So I will sing the song until these words can fall the turnabout. Because I don't have a home without you. I don't have a home without you.
Good art, Mr. Mangione.
Thank you. And I just want to acknowledge Daniel Conkle, who filmed that and worked on that with me. A dear brother, student of ours, passed a couple of years ago. So just if there's any experiences that you're having of peace, just offer it up for him and his family.